Are we rolling?
Yes, we are.
Okay, see, that's all.
There we go.
So, blooper reel underway. That's what we like to say. Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to the vlog. And today it's my pleasure to have with me a very special guest star. Right here.
Ta-da.
Ta-da. Dave Copeland. I think you all know Dave. If you don't, I'm going to encourage you to get to know Dave, and you're going to get to know him a little bit better here today. Dave recently transitioned from CFO to treasurer for the organization, serves on our board, been with us for over 25 years, but actually much longer than that. If we go back all the way, Dave actually has been with the organization 40 years. And as we celebrate our 40th anniversary, I just want to unpack that a little bit for you. When the organization was first formed as Bronson Builders and Design, Dave was a employee of Bronson Hospital. Bronson Healthcare Group, I guess, at the time. And he was named to our board of directors right from the get-go. He was the treasurer back then, I do believe. So fast forward 40 years later, and he's back in his old position. So maybe that's a lesson in progress, Colt.
Or maybe not.
Or maybe not. You just went full circle in 40 years. How about
Here we
that?
are.
Yeah, you're on the backside of it now. Lap number 40 was find you back right where you started.
Yeah.
So 40 years ago, 1983, when we were first formed, and we're going to celebrate that once again in March, Dave was there when the papers were signed. And in 1990, when we transitioned away from Bronson Healthcare Group, Dave came over a few years after that and served elegantly, I would say, as our CFO for all these years and got us into a great position, great service. Today we're going to once again unpack a little bit of Dave. So I've prepped him with a few questions, and then we're going to be impromptu a little bit, so hang on. Let's go, Dave. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it, man. So, origin story.
Like birth origin?
Well,
Not way back?
Not back to when your parents met.
Okay.
Okay, let's not start there, but hometown.
Oh, so I grew up in a small rural farming community in mid-Michigan, Fowlerville to be exact, home of the infamous Bloated Goat Saloon.
Where you told me wants to go to.
We'll get into that in a few minutes.
Which was not a good idea, by the way.
Went to high school in Fowlerville, went to college at Lake Superior State, Sault Ste. Marie. Graduated from Lake Superior State in 1970 with a Bachelor of Science in Business Management. And then went to work for a small school system in the Lansing area, coach football and basketball. Loved that. Loved dealing with the kids, hated dealing with the parents. And then 2 or 3 jobs later, I actually came to Kalamazoo in 1981 to work for Bronson Hospital. It's where I got involved years later in 1983 when CSM, or Bronson Builders and Design at the time, was formed, and came to work for Bronson, or for CSM in 95, 96, I think. So, and here we are.
Yeah, just like that, overnight success.
Overnight success.
Again. Family, I know the kids are now out of the nest.
Yep, 25-year-old twins. My daughter's just finishing her master's in school psychology. My son works for an evaluation firm in Royal Oak, Michigan. Both doing very well.
Financially freedom for them.
Yeah, we're getting there.
One step at a time.
One step at a time.
Yeah, think back to when you were that age.
I was on my own at that age.
Well, okay, there you go. I did ask you to reveal your strength finders.
Okay.
Okay, so can you help us with that?
So, top 5 strengths: I'm a relator, adaptability, a maximizer, arranger, and belief.
How about that?
I'm on the disc wheel. I'm a CS. So
Yeah.
we're usually more comfortable, typically in a supportive role.
Yeah. So CFO was a
Great position for
yeah.
somebody with my
Yeah.
my personality, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of spreadsheets, a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of predictive
Mhm.
numbers add up, all that good stuff. And I must say, set the groundwork for this organization for a long, long time. The steadiness of our financials has always been a hallmark of who we are and what we do. I do kid you periodically about, were you working for the auditors, or are you working for us, or how'd that all go?
Yeah, I'm going to take the fifth on that.
Undefeated.
Yeah, undefeated.
Undefeated. Perfect audit every time. Along that line though, as we kind of dive into the work thing, accomplishments, your greatest memories, anything just like pop into your head right now?
Yeah, I thought about that. Like the greatest memory for my career at CSM, I thought about that last night. I think for me, that's when we signed the deal with Kellogg. I don't even remember the year, but it's been a long time ago.
Yep.
We were approached by Kellogg. We'd done some work for them in their Battle Creek facility, and we were approached by them to maybe be proposed to be a CM nationally for them, which was a huge leap for CSM. We spent months putting together the proposal, trying to convince Kellogg that even though we were a small regional firm in Southwest Michigan, that we could operate on a national scale for them. We accomplished that, and even more importantly, after we signed that proposal, a lot of really dedicated employees in the field actually made it happen and actually made us very successful. I view that as a very important step for CSM because that was really our first transition from being a regional company into a truly national company.
Yeah.
That led us to Cargill and Treehouse and all the other national customers that we serve today. So
Yeah, and
I think that was an important step.
I think you're absolutely right. That's a great reflection. We were up against 25 other national firms in that
Big firms,
big
yeah.
firms in that quest, and we kind of rearranged the deck in doing so. Ironically, with the RFP too, we kind of pitched our own pitch there, as it
We
might
did.
be. Yes, and
We kind of designed what we answered. So.
yeah, exactly. So that worked out really, really well, and still going strong today.
Yes.
So it's a great foundation to build upon, and it took us, as you say, nationally to the point now where I think we're in 26 states or something. And
Yeah, I don't remember the number, but
yeah, we're going to get into that. Not today.
yeah, okay.
We won't make either one of us into not true sayers because we won't know. So, along those, any other great memories outside of just the work of the organization?
I think my fondest memories of being here are just the people I've met and worked with, from the executive leadership team to the PMs, the CMs, the project engineers, the office staff. Made so many great friends, so many great working relationships. It's just I treasure to this day.
That's awesome, and you're still engaged in it. So
I am still engaged in it.
yeah, in a completely different, from a different perspective. I put on this, so I'm just going to repeat what I wrote. I said scary shit and epic failures.
That list is way too long. Katrina does not have enough film to cover that list.
Well, yeah. Suffice it to say, there's a few in there.
Oh, there's a lot in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Any you'd like to daylight? Anything?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
All right. Probably a 3-foot putt at least.
There's been many of those.
Yeah, exactly. Well, failures are what builds successes. And you've always been very transparent about that, and that's always been good, and helped others that were on the, have made failures, one right here, along the way. So I think that's one of your great attributes, Cope.
I think one of the things I would tell people, I think one of your questions was, what knowledge would I impart on others? It's like they talk about defensive backs in football. You gotta have a short memory. You're gonna make mistakes. You need to remember the lessons you learned, but you can't dwell on the mistakes, and you need to move forward and take the next jump and take the next risk. Sometimes you're gonna stumble and fall, sometimes you're gonna be very successful. You need to remember the successes and forget the failures.
Yeah, I think along the journey, that's one of the things you've taught me the best, and always been there. Never an I told you so. It's always how can I help, and how do we move on? Yeah, we might all cry out fumble, and you're the first one to dive on the ball or attempt to. So really appreciative of that.
Well, that's what I love about this organization. Everybody here has that mindset.
The I told you so's come from the cheap seats.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Right. We don't need that. We're all gonna do it. Best lesson learned?
Best lesson learned. I guess to be open and honest. You know, a foreman on a construction site told me years ago, do something even if it's wrong. Chances are you might be right. And if it's wrong, we'll just do it over again. So just,
Yeah.
you know, charge ahead, move forward. Anything can be fixed.
Absolutely. You've always epitomized to me too the not I want, it's I will. And
Thank you.
you always have been that way. I will get that done. I don't want to get it done. I'm going to make sure it gets done. And I think that's led to the team that you created here, the organization that we are, because we have determination and we say what we're going to do and we do it. And you were on the tip of the spear with that at all times. There was never a teammate that got let down coming to you looking for something that they needed to get their job done, in my estimation.
I would like to believe that's true. That's the way I've always tried to operate.
I felt that way all the time, and I know I bugged you over senseless stuff.
Okay. Yes, you have.
Let the record show. Yeah. Something very few people would know about you.
Thought about this too. As I said, I grew up in a very small town. I actually started kindergarten in a one-room country schoolhouse that was kindergarten through 8th grade and one teacher. Unbelievable. I don't know how. I've been thinking about that. How that one person had 9 grades basically. I mean, there was only 20, 25 kids together in those 9 grades, but
Right.
still, that's a whole lot of different levels of education she had to impart. And then I went the next 3 years. They cut it down as schools started to consolidate. They cut it down to kindergarten through 3rd grade. But finally, in 4th grade, I actually went to the big school in town.
Yeah. In 3rd grade, you were teaching the kindergarten.
It could be. I don't remember, but I think that's probably how they did it a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of the epitome of the one-room schoolhouse.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think it works really well. Organization has to work that way too.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's a big circle. We start out with a big circle. We're back at the big circle again. But that's the way it really works the best, if we're imparting knowledge and learnings all the way through the organization all times. And it comes from all levels too.
Mhm.
It's just not age or it's not experience, it's curiosity, creativity, all those things add into the growth of knowledge. What are you grateful for?
The friends, the friends and coworkers I've made here. I view myself as being very successful. That has nothing to do with achievements or finances or anything like that. It's to do with the relationships I've built here, the friends I've made here. We've been through some great times. We've been through some tough times, but we all went through it together, no matter what it was. So I think that is what I'm most grateful for. I guess.
That's awesome. Going back to school,
Mhm.
so you went from a one-room schoolhouse
Mm-hmm.
to Lake Superior State,
Mm-hmm. Which was basically bigger one-room
a one-room
schoolhouse.
college schoolhouse.
I tell people at Lake Superior State, what you needed was tuition and a pulse, and they let you in.
Okay. And tuition, you were on scholarship,
I was. Yep.
so that was even better.
That was even better.
What'd they pay you to go and come and do there?
Play basketball, actually.
Yeah. Wow. How'd that turn out?
It was good. It was a great 4 years. Made some really good friends. Actually, still get together with 5 or 6 of those guys every summer. A little golf outing up in the Upper Peninsula. So have a great time.
Iron Mountain?
Iron Mountain.
Yeah.
Lie about how good we were.
I've never been invited, but someday.
No, someday.
Someday,
Sure.
yeah, someday,
You're welcome.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. I've seen the pictures. So at Lake Superior State, and you know where I'm going with this. Where did you live?
Laker Hall.
Where did you live after Laker Hall?
Where did I live after Laker Hall?
I think there was a bar downtown. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. For a term, that's all it lasted. We 4 of us had an apartment upstairs above a bar called Hallisey's. Not a good environment for a college student. Let's go down for one before we go to bed. turns into 2:30 in the morning, so.
Okay. But somehow you ended up on the Hall of Fame.
No.
Experience.
Okay, that's.
This
no.
is
This is not true.
This is going to get daylighted right now, folks.
This is not true. There is a Hall of Fame at Lake Superior State. I am in the Wall of Fame.
Okay.
So, the Wall of Fame is a wall with pictures of every team that ever played there. So everybody is in the Wall of Fame. I am not in the Hall of Fame.
Urban legend.
Yeah.
We're gonna go figure that out. It's
Okay.
gonna be a road trip someday.
Okay.
We're gonna go back to Lake Superior State if it's still standing and find that place, that thing. How about, so based on your strengths, I'm wondering what your craziest idea was.
Don Simmons and I, Don Simmons, Steve knows, is a good friend,
Mhm.
was the person at Bronson that actually started this organization, Bronson Builders Design,
Yep.
way back in the day.
Yep.
One day when we were both kind of fed up with whatever was going on at work, we decided we were going to start a frog farm.
Frog farm.
A frog farm. We were going to raise frogs for laboratories and restaurants and
Frog legs?
frog legs.
Frog legs.
Fortunately for us, it never got off the ground. 'Cause that's probably the craziest one I ever.
Was this kind of like the Hallisey's experience?
That might have been.
There was something
There-
going
there
on.
might- There might have been some alcohol involved in that decision. I don't know.
Probably a good idea that didn't get launched.
It didn't get launched.
Yeah, I've heard, I've never heard that one before.
No?
You surprised me with that one. Holy cow, a frog farm. Nice. Advice to yourself and others.
Be honest. Really try to understand yourself. Try to be as self-aware as you can. It makes life a hell of a lot easier when you don't expect things of yourself that you aren't capable of doing. Be who you are. Be open, honest, forthright.
Boundaries.
Yeah.
Everything to everybody doesn't ever work.
It never works. No,
No,
never works.
no. That's fraught with frustration and disappointment. Yeah. Do you think you found your groove?
Oh, probably not. But
Okay. That kind of leads to my next question, obviously.
what's that?
What's your next groove?
I told you this a couple weeks ago. As I'm entering retirement, reading a book about how to make that transition. It's called The Next Season. I am in what they call the pause phase right now. And what the pause phase says is don't hurry to try to find what to do. It will find you. So I'm in the pause phase. Turns out I'm really actually pretty damn good at being in the pause phase. Who knew? Who knew?
Finding my natural inclination.
I know, all these years.
I found
I
it.
found it.
I found it. I'm gonna show up with a big sweater with a P on it. Yeah. Club pause. Oh, that's any inclination as you're entering the pause phase about?
No, not yet.
No?
Not yet.
Yeah.
I really enjoy, I think, mentoring people.
Mhm.
Just having relationships and conversations with people who maybe haven't had the same experiences I've been through. So maybe looking forward to doing some of that.
Well, that was part of the. My next question was, are you available for mentoring?
I know, that's why I said it.
Oh, okay, good
So-
one. Good one, Cole.
I read the list.
Yeah, there. How about that?
How about that?
Well, any of you that have now seen this and would consider Dave to be a mentor, maybe I don't know if your phone's gonna ring off the hook or.
Probably not.
Probably not. But it would be, I think it'd be beneficial if you had a lot of questions or you wanted some life experience revelations to talk to Dave about where he's been, what he's done. Because we've just scratched the surface on a lot of this stuff. Your journey up to us was really, really interesting. You did spend time in our industry.
I did. Actually, my summer job when I was going to college was a construction electrician for an electrical firm. So that's how I first got introduced.
It was the first trip off the farm.
First trip off the farm, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Your parents had a farm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you were responsible.
Milk cows, plowed fields,
Yeah.
slop the hogs, all that good stuff.
What did that teach you about farming?
That I never want to do that again. I was gonna do something else, anything else.
Anything.
Anything.
Didn't matter. College sounded really good.
I
right there.
did, yeah.
Yeah. As you reflect on that, and then your journey through finance, and then your journey back to construction, it's got to be, when you see what the application of your efforts did across all the facilities and things we built, I'm thoroughly amazed at how you pulled through all that, because it's complicated, really complicated.
Or is the word convoluted? I don't know.
Yeah, it could be convoluted too.
But
Yeah, because you were in charge of the flow of all of that, and literally sometimes hundreds of jobs of cash flow and doing all those things. How did that feel?
well, you know, the thing I think I really liked about being in the accounting field at the construction industry was my previous accounting jobs in healthcare and a school system and other things. It was hard to see the tangible evidence of what you had done. In this industry, even though I wasn't the person obviously out there swinging a hammer or laying bricks or directing people, I could drive by facilities that we as an organization had built and feel like, okay, I had a small part of that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was really kind of, think, the rewarding part of being in the accounting field in this industry.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that's so essential. It's so integrated into our world. It's so great to see, and we're sitting in one of those right now.
One of them we did.
Yeah, yeah. It feels like home to us. Yeah. Before we end, anything else? Words of wisdom?
Well, I do have a story about you
Well,
that you're free to edit out later if you want.
go ahead. I don't care.
So
Yeah.
we talked about the Bloated Goat Saloon in Fowlerville, infamous place.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time there.
There's a theme, Cole.
There's a theme, I
Yeah,
know.
I know. Yeah.
And Steve and I, and actually Katie, were going to an award presentation several years ago, and we had to drive by Fowlerville, so we were early. And Steve said, "Let's get off. I'd like to see the town you grew up in." So we're driving through Fowlerville, which is basically 2 blocks, and we drive by the Bloated Goat. And I mentioned it before, and Steve said, "Well, let's go in. We've got time. Let's go in."
Yeah. Seemed like a good idea at the
I
time.
said, "Well, okay, we've got on ties and sport coats. We will get our ass kicked if we go in the Bloated Goat." And Steve said, "Well, you may know people in there." I said, "Hell, I'll guarantee you half the people in there are related to me, and we'll still get our ass kicked." So,
Throw caution to the wind.
so we didn't.
No, we didn't. Yeah. Probably one of the better decisions.
That was, I'm sure.
And not in my nature at all.
No.
Yeah. But having total belief in you, and just seeing the fear in your eyes when you said that, I was pretty sure that we probably shouldn't do that.
We shouldn't do that.
Yeah. We have enjoyed lots of adventures across the years.
We have.
Cole, and those aren't over yet. I've been so enjoyed all those. We've been in this together for a very, very long time, and it really is kind of we're at opposite ends of the spectrum in so many ways, but that provides good balance.
Yeah, we're on total opposite sides of the disc wheel.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely.
Totally different strengths and opportunities for improvement, but they mesh together very well.
Isn't Woo in your top 5?
Woo is not in my top 5. I think there are 34 and Woo is 36, I think.
Oh, okay, so maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Absolutely, but it is beneficial for everybody to understand how all those things can work together.
Yeah.
And you do want to select and be in an atmosphere that has a lot of diversity to it, be inclusive of that, different ideas, different mindsets, different points of view point to success generally, if you can embrace all of that. It's been a great journey. Thanks for taking the time today.
It's been a great journey for me too, and thank you for allowing me to do that.
Wouldn't have done it without you. And I'm just as serendipitous 40 years later. We're going to celebrate in March, and you're right back where you started. I think we should use you as a lead off for everything.
Oh, do you?
I do. Man, if we can get those papers out, your name's still on them somewhere.
It absolutely is somewhere.
It is. Yeah. I thought you'd file that under big mistake. Yeah,
No.
something I shouldn't have done, signed that paperwork. Well, thanks again, Colt.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
appreciate you.